think of all the warning signs and everything that he sent and wonder what we could have done differently. And I talked to him a week before. He was so excited because he passed this test. Because he wanted to go back to school and go into nursing and stuff. We gotta be there for our kids now more than ever.
And counseling, that's something that the kids do need.
They all need it, I agree with
you. Oh, they all do.
I'm never gonna be a grandma to his kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Never. I'm not gonna see him get married or...
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you had an amazing weekend. So I've come to the realization after watching season 19, episode 25, that for the first time since I've done recaps of these episodes and covered the show, I am not going to post any clips because it feels wrong. It feels wrong to post clips from that episode because there was a lot that went down in that episode that I was, so pretty, as it was that they bid farewell to him and buried him. It was quite invasive, and I feel like I don't wish to propagate that further. That TL that's on TLC, they had a graveside ceremony and had it aired on TLC, and they buried his urn in the ground, and it was quite intimate and quite difficult to watch. But I wanted to just touch on a few things out of the episode beyond that section of the episode, because that section of the episode was like the middle of it. There was a section before they went to the cemetery, and then there was a section after. And I just wanted to sort of elaborate on what my observations were from this. And very soon in the episode, it was obvious that Janelle and Christine were together with some of their children. Not all of the children were there for all aspects of it. Mykelti and Tony were not present at all. I believe that this occurred to coincide when they were transferring or in the process of transferring to North Carolina. So that perhaps was why. So Mykelti and Tony were not present at all, and as far as I could make out, the rest of the siblings were present. Logan was on camera, but he didn't say anything. Hunter was present, but he didn't appear in any of the episode segments when they went fishing. Same with Logan. They didn't actually put themselves into any of that. Gabriel was present. All of Christine's children except McKeely were present, and then Leon and Audrey were present. So all of the siblings except Mykelti and naturally Garrison was not present because it was his funeral, and then Meri was there, but Meri wasn't with them, didn't remain with Janelle, and Christine and Meri wasn't present during the filming when they conducted the filming with even Leon. So I don't know if Meri just wasn't invited and she wasn't asked to do that type of things, just because they're not close and Leon decided to be with their siblings, and that there was some things that Leon did with Meri off-screen, but Leon was present during the filming with their siblings. So it was really quite pleasant to see Leon with Audrey, and they did actually look really, devastated by it all. So it was, quite clear in this episode that death of Garrison did not cause any reconciliation with Kody whatsoever, most particularly when the adult children were present with Christine and Janelle, and even at the graveside none of the two sides interacted, so when they actually were face-to-face, Kody was on one side with Robyn and her kids minus Dayton, and then on the other side it was like everyone else. Honestly, it was like Kody and Robyn on one side and everyone else on another side, and there was no seeing interacting between the two sides. They kept their distances. There was a very obvious disconnect between them. There was a very clear not interested in talking between them, and there was a clear no reconciliation occurred. Okay? And Janelle did state that this death has served as a good reminder to the siblings, and by the siblings she means the children with her, Christine and Meri, and how those children have all managed to at least some of them to repair some of the fences, some of the wounds between them settle, some of their differences, reconnect more and talk more and be together more, and they check in more, and they have more conversations with each other. It's helped create just sort of like a glue with them again, where they are just sort of reminded about what's important. It's made them stronger in their relationships, and it's also made them willing to sort of set aside their differences between all of the kids, minus Robyn's kids, that there was no word at all between Robyn's children and the children that the OG3's firstborns. So there's just this like patent distance, there's all these various competing narratives, and I do think that this episode was handled a lot better in that it involved a whole lot more from Janelle and Christine with their children, those who were actually affected by it. Those that stayed close to Garrison, I felt like there was more time afforded for them to say their piece and feelings, and to discuss and to share their memories. There was time for Christine and to Janelle to sort of discuss through, their own loss and their own obstacles with all of this. And it was pleasant to observe, even though it was really invasive and kind of exploitative. It was just pleasant to see that Christine and Janelle could be there for one another. And I think what I've learned strangely thing about this is that I had a lot of questions regarding David, Christine's husband. Initially, I had these reservations regarding his background and was he in this for the right reasons? Is he really a good guy and he is just the most solid dude ever? All the kids love him. He's like a rock for Christine. He seems like he's a rock for her kids. He and Truly obviously have a fantastic relationship and he just seems to fit in so perfectly with those of the family. It's as if he was meant to be there. So I'm just happy that Christine has such a supportive SP partner in this. So I feel that aspect of this has been perhaps the most, it shouldn't surprise me, but it's been the most. I'm just happy. Christine, once more, has a good partner. I'm happy that she found the love that she desires. I'm happy that when she's going through something like this, she has people that she can count on. And then when it comes to Janelle, it was really clear that her boys are just kind of rallying around her and guarding her and being there for her and just trying to take care of her, even though they're mourning too. It's just clear that her boys are leaning into her and looking after her. So I'm happy she's got that too. There was nothing much between Janelle and Kody where they had on-camera dialogue or conversation, only except at the gravesite when she passed him the urn and he put it in the ground. But even at the funeral, they sat on different sides. They talked at totally different times. They were very divided. And I noticed that when Kody was speaking about Garrison, some of the siblings were not even looking at him. They were kind of looking down, almost, just not even interested in what he said. It almost felt like they kind of looked at it like it was very performative. So there was that. I would have preferred not to have seen him be buried. Honestly, I'm not sure I needed to see that, but something at the end of it kind of sparked my interest. And it's something that I've been informed by other people who know them. It's that Madison sitting down with Leon and, she said I feel sad for Kody, but I really feel sad for Kody's kids. She didn't even say Robyn's name. It was very obvious that a lot of the problems with Kody obviously have to do with how he treated them. They have the most of their issues are with Kody. Then they'll mention Kody's name, but they won't mention Robyn's name, so they don't address them as their siblings, So Maddie was if I could talk to Robyn's children, I would tell them that I'm sorry if I ever hurt you. I'm sorry if I ever made you feel bad. I didn't feel that I didn't mean to ever make you feel this way. And Leon made a statement and said, I just want to be able to talk to them. And I thought, gosh, that is so weird, right? What have Kody and Robyn done to those children to have them poisoned so much against all of the other kids in this family? Why are the two sets of siblings so pitted against each other? I understand there's this whole, the haves and the have-nots. Those who are such as Kody and Robyn who think they are superior to all, and Janelle and Christine and Meri and their children on the opposite side of the spectrum. And that too all was very evident. Just in the way Robyn and Kody arrived at the graveside where they all were all done up and all looking very smart. And lots on the side where Janelle and Christine and the children were there more informally, respecting the informality of Garrison. So it also felt like that type of contrast, like they're primped up, so like they're attending church. And the other side was more informal. That was just another thing that I noticed, but what if they told them that it's so impossibly for them even to have a conversation that they can't even extend themselves to them to have a conversation because it's being dictated and regulated by Robyn and Kody? These are adults who they clearly could have a conversation with. And I see that if your siblings have you blocked, and if your siblings don't want to speak to you, that's okay. You absolutely should have regard for boundaries. But in this situation, I feel like all the sibling problems are due to what Kody and Robyn have said and done to turn them against those children. And I sort of think most of that is because they don't want the kids to all speak and have an ability to make amends and get the reality about who was the one that was putting things in our heads about them. Because it was actually Robyn that is constantly bringing the message and the suggestion of what she believes people think about her, and she's the one that was traumatized and rejected, right, by the other OG3 kids. And she placed that on her kids. They don't like me, so they don't get to have a relationship with them, right? And obviously the OG3 kids struggled adjusting. And they did it all on TV, which was a terrible idea when they combined the families, and Kody then just ran off and took off into the sunset with Robyn and the kids. I mean, that's essentially what he did. There's years and years and years of resentment and anger, but the fact that even at the funeral they couldn't talk, even at the funeral they wouldn't speak, even at the funeral, Kody didn't engage with any of his children that weren't Robyn's children, that were he only engaged with Robyn's children, he did not engage with any of his other children. So when I consider it like that, it's like you don't even talk to your other kids, the siblings, the immediate siblings that relate to Garrison, and then you're there fussing over this entire thing about Garrison when you don't even have a relationship with his siblings and sisters. I felt really, this is strange. If you're a parent, how do you not cross the other side and be like, I'm sorry, I messed up? How do you not attempt to make things right? How do you not acknowledge that you were in the wrong? How do you not see that you might have done things differently? How do you still in death not figure out a way to make things right? And so when they talk about Makilia said that they did things in ways during this process that pushed her pull away from them, I think that is what they're talking about. It's like they don't care on the other kids. This is all being produced for television, and when they get the chance to communicate with those kids in person, there's no dialogue. And I know a lot of the kids do not want anything to do with him, and that I do get, but not even a try. It was just crazy. I did see that Logan approached Robyn and the kids, Brianna, Aurora, and hugged them at the graveyard and the graveside service. That was truly the only one I saw engaging that crossed over, but that's Logan. Logan is the peacemaker in this family. So at the service, Tim, who is Kody's sister's husband and the owner of the ranch, gave a eulogy of sorts, but more a sermon, I suppose, and he addressed directly to the grief of a mother and coping with the loss of a child and the significance of learning about relations and a means of keeping things separate from each other to repair fences. I felt like his message was appropriate and given with compassion, considering what's transpired in this family. I thought it was strange that he characterized Kody, and he said, "No one will understand the remorse of a father, or a father's remorse, in reference to the death of Garrison." And I don't know if Kody requested him to place that I don't know if that was said, because Tim wants the other kids to see that Kody is sorry for what happened and has a sense of responsibility for what he's done and how he made all of this division and what he said about Garrison very publicly. But I think something else could have been said at the service. That was my one part where I just didn't need to learn that I did not have to hear about Kody being sorry, because none of his actions with his other kids indicated that he had remorse. That was my perception. Overwhelmingly, TLC did a better task at this episode, and Robyn was fairly non-existent during the episode, and she did not appear to have feelings concerning Garrison. It was primarily Kody brought his boy home, not we put our son to rest. Which, if you're going to be a stepmom, Robyn, you should begin to think of Kody's kids as your kids as well. But what do I know? So tell me what your opinion is regarding this episode. Were you touched? Were you uncomfortable? And what do you think regarding this constant divide in the family? Tell me in the comments below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and tap the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.